1075 The Game Podcasting is sponsored by Modern Exterminating, a family-oriented company. Professional, honest, and dependable pest control solutions. We're your one-stop shop for all pests.
All indications I've had from LaNorris are he wants to be here, and he knows that the job's not finished. And there's a lot of excitement about 26, and he and a lot of our other players that are returning feel that same way.
Coach, you had a great high school recruiting class, top 15 in the country. Now your attention turns to portal recruiting. A couple years ago, you already mentioned it once, you were able to get Raheem Sanders from Arkansas. What a year he had, and I know you'd love to have maybe more production from that tailback spot. Does that become a top priority? How do you and your staff assess portal needs? I know it's got to be year to year, but how big is that one, and how do you rank those?
Yeah, there's certainly other positions. It kind of goes back, Jay, to where I'm like every coach where when you had 85 scholarships, now that's getting ready to grow, so that'll tweak or change the number of scholarships that we can bring into our program. But when you had 85 scholarships, you always had a target number of players at each position that you wanted to have on scholarship. So, for example, our number based off having 85 total scholarships is we wanted to have 17 offensive linemen on scholarship at all times. We've always wanted to have 5 running backs on scholarship at all times. And when you were based off 85, and when you look at our roster right now, there's positions, running back, offensive line, where we are certainly under those numbers. So in order to not just compete and win games, but to be able to function in practice, we've got to be able to bring in bodies and players that can help us compete for championships here. So certainly the offensive line, from a depth standpoint, we've got to increase the competition there. With Brandon Cisse and Jalen Kilgore deciding to go on to the NFL, that's a aspect of it that maybe you didn't plan on. You knew it was a possibility, but now it is a reality. So you've got to be able to add depth in the secondary. And then definitely from a running back standpoint, I mean, we only have, it is what it is, and it's unfortunate, but we have not signed a high school running back in 2 years. And that can't happen. And because of that, we're now in a situation where we literally have 3 running backs in our entire program on scholarship.
Nick Sharp has 1 year of eligibility left. Remember, Sharp came in from Wake Forest, where Sharp had a good season at Wake in 2024. 2025, Sharp was like the rest of the offensive line. Sharp made 5 starts. He will move on to try to get 1 more year in as a starter, and then maybe he can play his way back to what he did last year at Wake and put himself in position to roll off to the NFL in some way, shape, or form. College hoops tonight, top 25, number 23, Florida, at home against St. Francis. St. Francis is 0-6 on the road, 2-8 overall. Florida's undefeated at home. Despite the fact the Gators have lost 4 games, I mean, to good teams. Florida is a 44.5-point favorite. That's just too many points. I mean, could Florida beat St. Francis by 44.5? Sure. But I can't give anybody 44.5 points. That's just craziness. Craziness, I say. So I'm going to have to take St. Francis in 44.5. It's almost half 100.